Et on se retrouve pour le photocall.
And here we are for the photocall for the film The Captive, a new film in competition. Yes, the third in competition, directed by Eggwin, starring Rosario Dawson, Ryan Reynolds and Mireille Enos, who we saw in a wonderful series on TV called The Killing, along with Brad Pitt, and in another film. And the crew for the film The Captive is just turning up here for their photocall. The Captive is a thriller directed by Eggwin, the story of a kidnapping. Ryan Reynolds and Mireille Enos play the role of the parents of a girl who is kidnapped. The film takes place 8 years later with flashbacks which help us to understand how the story unfolded. Rosario Dawson plays the role of the investigator. So here we have the film director, Egoyan, alongside Ryan Reynolds, a famous actor, of course, who we saw in Buried by Rodrigo Cortés. Egoyan is the director of the third filming competition this year at the 67th Cannes Film Festival. It's not his first time here in Cannes. By a long chalk, he was here in 2008 in competition with the film Adoration. Scott Speedman is on the screen now, standing next to Ryan Reynolds. Egoyan, irregular here at the film festival. Kevin Durand is also here, having his photo taken. And the actresses in the film are now coming along. Rosario Dawson, Mireille Enos. There she is in the center. She came to light in The Killing on TV. And then in World War Z with Brad Pitt. The producer, Stephen Trainer and Jennifer Ways, the whole team from the film The Captive, which is the third film in competition here at the festival this year in 2014. Yes, the film is a thriller directed by Eggwin. And as usual in his films, he's in charge of the camera. It's all often in the style of a CCTV, shots of Niagara Falls, of Niagara in the winter, with a layer of snow on the ground. For 2 months, we see the work that the investigators are carrying out, but they are working 8 years after this young girl has been kidnapped. They're trawling the internet, looking at different websites to try and find clues, and gradually they find tracks of the life of this child who has grown up in the meantime, is now a teenager, but who has been kept captive by the kidnapper, played by Kevin Durand. He's part of a paedophile network in the film. That's Kevin Durand on the screen now. Earlier on, we saw Scott Speedman, who is one of the investigators. It's reminiscent of a film which was screened in Cannes, Michael by Schlenger, an Austrian film, which showed the point of view of a paedophile who had locked away a young boy in the cellar. And we get in this film by Egoyan the same construction, the same geography in many ways. There's the constant guilt in the minds of the parents. They feel so powerless, and the police aren't making any progress. The father, played by Ryan Reynolds, continues to trawl the roads. He feels the most guilty in the whole story because the daughter was kidnapped when he was who he'd taken her to a bakery store to buy a cake, left the girl in the car. When he came back, she was gone. So here we have the two actresses from the film. Mireille Enos, this is her first time in Cannes, and Rosario Dawson, who of course has been to Cannes before. She cast her charm in a Tarantino film in competition in 2007. Death Proof was the name of that film. She is to be in a film called The Voices. Ryan Reynolds is to be in The Voices. The film The Captive is to be released in movie theatres on the 1st of October. The storyline of this thriller is very captivating. Actor Eggwin has constructed it brilliantly, and often, as is the case in his films, there's it's like a jigsaw puzzle, a mosaic, different portions filmed at different times in different areas, and the viewer has to put the puzzle together. Here we have the two main actresses in the film, Mireille Enos and Rosario Dawson, the mother and the investigator. The police force are in charge of child cases, maltreatment and also kidnapping, and the department has a close eye on this particular case, and every year the team meets with the mother of the kidnapped girl to keep her up to date, and the investigation all of a sudden makes a huge leap forward. A pedophile is taken into custody, but there are many bounds and leaps and turns in the story. You can hear the photographers calling out for Rosario Dawson, who will soon be in the film Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, by Frank Miller and Robert Riguez, and also the voice by Josie Weller. Now the chaps are back centre stage. Scott Speedman, Kevin Durand, and Ryan Reynolds. Here we have the dad of the victim, the policeman, Scott Speedman, and the baddie, Kevin Durand. So Kevin Durand plays the role of a paedophile who imprisons the daughter of Ryan Reynolds for many years. She grows up, and he continues to keep her, although she's still a teenager. He wants to use her as bait to attract other children via internet. Kevin Durand was in Cannes last year in Fruitvale Station by Ryan Coogler in the Un Certain Regard section. Ryan Reynolds is here for the first time, as is Scott Speedman. Ryan Reynolds plays a very interior role. All of the feelings come from deep within. He doesn't know whether his daughter is alive or dead, and he experiences that viscerally in front of the camera. He carries this pain, this sadness inside him. He's inconsolable. He is convinced that he will be the one to find her because he feels so guilty. Ryan Reynolds is very popular with the photographers here. Blake Lively is with him here on La Croisette. We saw her on the red carpet last night.
Voilà, donc toute l'équipe de...
Here we have the whole crew from the film The Captive, the third film in competition at the 67th Cannes Film Festival.
Et regardez,
There we have Rosario, Mireille, who seem to get on very well together. Yes, and that comes through in the film also. Because the police are obviously hugely saddened by the situation. And the role of Rosario Dawson is to get children to speak out in her office. One wonders how people can do such difficult jobs. It makes us think of another film which was presented here in Cannes. Eggwin played the role, or directed a film rather, which was in competition about child abuse. But this year, with Eggwin, we have a thriller to enjoy. Rosario continues to play to the photographers. Let's take a look at an extract from the film The Captive in competition.